What's up, guys? Welcome to Art in VR. Thank you. My name is Goro Fujita. I'm an art director at Oculus Story Studio. Now, our mission at Story Studio is to pioneer, share, and excite the VR industry. And with each of our steps, we step into the unknown, trying to find new ways to tell stories in VR. Now, we constantly ask ourselves, what makes VR different from everything else we've seen in the past? So after Henry, we wanted to do something completely new. And that's when our creative director, Sascha, brought D'Angelica to the studio. So the idea of D'Angelica was to tell a story entirely through illustrations, VR illustrations. But we had no idea how to do it. So we took a few attempts, several different attempts. We did 360 illustrations, line art mapped on 3D geometry, and we even did particle simulations that create the line art with animated lines to give the illustration life, but none of it was working. The art needed to look like it came straight from the artist without showing any technical gimmicks. And that was one of the problems we ran into, because every test we did, everybody could kind of sort of tell how we did it, and that distracted from the actual art. So we had to find a different way. So ideally, we wanted the artist to directly illustrate in VR, but there was no way to do it. That's when Inigo happened. So in a 2-day hackathon, Inigo came up with a prototype of a VR illustration tool that later on became Quill. And everyone was speechless. It was a mind-blowing tool. And this just felt right? And this is actually what he says about his work. I'm like, Inigo, you're so amazing. And he says, well, it's just math. And I'm like, no, it's not. But yeah, that's Inigo, right? So while he was developing Quill, Sascha had talented artist Wesley Alsbrook as the illustrator for D'Angelica. Her illustrative style had the right energy and flow for the project. And Quill was so intuitive that she picked it up super fast, and she started to create amazing artwork. And before we knew, we were blasting through production without any problems, and everybody was happy. Obviously, it's not that easy. This is more what reality looked like. So I want to give you guys a sneak peek of what D'Angelica actually looks like. Here we go. Pretty cool, huh? But it's actually way better in VR. But I did not work on D'Angelica. But Quill had a very strong personal impact on me as an artist. So this is my little Quill story. This is CU02. CU stands for cooking unit. He's a cooking robot, but he's one of the first units on the market, so he has a malfunction, and he falls in love with a street cat and leaves the kitchen. Now, CU is a character I created in 2004, and since then, I sent him to numerous places in the world. I let him travel with his guitar. He loves playing guitar. And here, he's visiting Italy. And this is the first time he's in New York. And in all those years, for more than a decade, he was living in a parallel universe, and it never crossed my mind that our lives can cross, right? Our paths can cross. Until Inigo wrote Quill. And suddenly, our worlds meet. And I can stand right next to him and feel his presence. And that was an unforgettable moment for me. So let me show you where we first ran into each other. Let me step into the rift. Oh, it's raining. So Oh, where am I? Oh, look, there he is. And there's his little friend, too. This is just so cool, but it's raining. Oh, there's umbrella. Let me take the umbrella. Now we're talking. This is so immersive. I've seen this so many times now. I mean, I illustrated this piece, but it's still so magical to me. Just standing next to him, being close to him, and feeling the rain and the mood, it's just amazing. And look, there's Inigo. Like, he doesn't have an umbrella though, so Inigo, I don't want you to get soaked, so let me help you out a little bit. Let me give you the umbrella. How about this? You like that? It's better, right? And I feel like, ooh, there's also a reflection. How did I do that? Oh, tricky. Cool, huh? So, but I think there's stuff missing on the streets. New York streets are not that clean, right? So let me put some stuff on the streets. Maybe some soda cans or something. And let me see, let's start here. Little soda can. See, I can paint directly in the image. Isn't it cool? I think it's cool. So here, I'm gonna do directly the lighting here. This is the highlight side. And you gotta know, this is what I love about Quill, that it's the artist who paints the light. There's no light in here. It's all an illusion of color combinations, right? So this guy looks lit, but he's not really lit. You know? The amazing thing though is if I go underneath him with the umbrella, I really feel the blue filtered light through the umbrella. It's pretty incredible. And let me paint this little soda can here, but I feel like I'm struggling to paint the details. So how about I make this bigger? Do more details here. Maybe I add some opening. I can pick the colors. That looks much better, but let me also put some highlights here. Pick a new color. Now I have this asset, why not duplicate it, right? So I'm gonna scale it down here, and let me move over to Inigo. Inigo is gonna be my scale cue now, sorry Inigo. So I'm gonna match this Coke can to the right size and put it somewhere here. And now, duplicate it. Oop. Just put it here. So there's a funny story that happened when Inigo was first writing Quill. I was like, Inigo, you gotta give me the option to duplicate layers. And he said, no, I don't want that. And I was like, come on, man, like I need this, you know, like duplicate is like one of the essential things that I want to use. And then he's like, fine, I'll do it. And then at some point he gave me the ability to duplicate. And then I was like, whoa, you know, I'm gonna create like a giant grass field, right? So I was creating like this ginormous grass field with individual like grass strains, and then it crashed, right? And I was like, Inigo, like I was just doing grass and it crashed. And he said, what have you done? And the file wouldn't open anymore, but he hacked something together and he opened it again. And he's like, of course it crashes. You did like a giant grass field. You know how many curves this is? And I'm like, I don't know, you know. But he was like, but you know, this is a good benchmark for me. You know, let me make this work. And now, look at that. You see rain. Those are individual pixels, right? Individual strokes, and it's performant, right? So you're welcome, Inigo. I did you a favor, right? So I haven't done anything. So what I'm using right now is the coloring tool. So I have this layer here, and then I can just pick a different color because I don't want all the soda cans to look the same. So I can just color this in. And then I also want to add some more detail, maybe some papers on the ground. Right? So I can change the brush here. So this UI is actually an old UI. We're working on a new one. This is what we use for De Angelica. And a new UI is coming. So when we release it, it's going to look very different. Okay, so some newspapers here. Let me see how it looks. It looks good. This one I don't like. Let me remove it. Just going to paint some more detail here. Papers everywhere. And then maybe there's a ladybug in the rain. So he landed on this piece of newspaper that I'm creating right now. And let me try that a little quick. So I'm going to create a new layer, work on it a little bit. And I need the sphere brush, darker color, and start painting the ladybug. There we go. And this is the shadow color. And then you will, of course, also have highlights. I'm going to take care of that right now. And the bottom will be black. So this is so cool. I don't want to paint anywhere else anymore, you know. Sometimes when I paint in like 2D tools, I want to move the camera and get upset that I can't do it. Yeah, once you go Quill, it's hard to come back. All right, so we have like those little antennas here. I believe ladybugs have 6 legs. And just add 6 legs here. And then I'm going to scale this. Oh no, polka dots. Of course, I can't forget about those, right? Why would be a ladybug in New York City on a rainy day? That is the question. I don't know. But I think it's fun. And it looks cool. Ladybugs have such a cool design. Just love them. All right, this huge ladybug, right? So let's scale it down and push it over there. That's better. Now, let me see if that feels right. It's still a little bit big. Let me make it smaller. Right here. Oh, put the paper down. And now, what's mind-boggling to me about Quill is the infinite canvas, right? Oops, let me pick this up. Let me turn this off. Now, if I go to ladybug scale, Inigo becomes Godzilla. Now this is amazing, right? You can see the perspective, the angle of the ladybug, right? Now what happens if you give an artist an infinite canvas? I'm going to use it. So watch this. Isn't that cool? Let me go back here, and Inigo seems a little bit lonely. I want to give him a pal. So let me give him a little dog. I don't know if Inigo likes dogs, but sorry, Inigo. I'm just going to assume that for now. You're going to be a dog owner very soon. So let me start painting the body. Right here, this is the body. Maybe I use a slightly darker color here. Just mix it in. It's the neck. Zoom in a little bit. And this just feels so incredibly intuitive. It blows my mind every day. This is how you're supposed to paint, I'm telling you. So, don't like the snout, it's too long, so I make it shorter. You can see that I can just delete the strokes that I did. That's what you see with the highlights. It's basically the strokes, individual curves that I'm painting. So this is the front leg. And let me add the rear leg here. It's walking. And then another front leg, crossover. Like that. Does it look okay? Yeah. You see that I'm rotating around a lot, and that's because you have to respect the third dimension. It's kind of tricky sometimes to draw a straight line. When if you do this, it looks straight, but if you look from the side, it's not. This was straight, but but most of the times, you know, I guess I'm used to that. But so this is the tail, and then let me add some more colors. So he's gonna have light on the top of his back. It's a diffuse day, so the highlights are not gonna be that strong. Just gonna add some more detail. And he definitely needs some ears, so let me work on his ears. Pick a darker color here. Just drawing the ears. And obviously, you also need some eyes, right? Don't worry, I'm gonna give you some eyes soon, very soon. So let me choose a color here. Work on his eyes. Look at this cute little fella. A little nose over here. How about that? This is starting to look really cool. And of course, Inigo owns him. So he needs a dog collar. So let me give him a collar. See how I did that without looking? I already know the 3D space. And a leash, but let me see if the scale is okay. Maybe I want to move him around a little bit. Maybe I want to make him big. No, let's leave him small, like that. No, that's a rat. So Inigo, if he holds him in his arms, maybe about this size feels adequate. So let me put him down here. This looks really cool. All right, he needs contact shadow now, right? So because he's like walking. Let me pick this color here, make it a little bit darker, and then just add some shadow to him. So that will give enough reference for the ground plane. And a leash. Inigo, now you're a proud dog owner. Boom. Oh, it went through his body. How about that? There you go. What do you think, guys? Okay, so I'm gonna let fate decide if they're gonna meet. Maybe they will become friends, maybe not, who knows? I'm gonna go back to my slides and leave them alone now. Bye-bye, guys. So that is Quill. Now, today in Hall 3 at 7 o'clock, there's 2 more Quill artists painting live, so make sure to check it out. It's at 7 o'clock, Hall 3. It's gonna be awesome because this is just a tool and everybody has a different handwriting. And this is my handwriting, and you will see other artists that their art will look completely different. And that's what I love about Quill, that it really just is a creative tool that the artist can take advantage of. Now, the world before Quill, see what I did there? So Henry just won an Emmy in the category Original Interactive Program. Woo-hoo! So when we made Henry, Quill didn't exist yet. So we followed the traditional steps of an animation production, which is the stages of visual development, where we develop the visual structure and the look of the film. We go through character designs, prop designs, all the way to color keys that inform the lighting department and define the final look of the film. Now, while this approach certainly remains, I believe that Quill becomes a very important addition in the design process of VR productions. Because there's a thing we often say. We look at the design and we say, this looks really cool, but let's see how it feels in VR. And this is what usually happens. So Quill accelerates the design process as you're already in VR. And it allows you to experience your creations while you're designing them. So it can cut down a significant amount of time you would lose on iterations. Now, ideally, if you design for VR, you also want to design in VR. So using my Rainy City piece as an example, in Quill, an artist can create a piece from start to finish without exiting VR. And this could be invaluable for VR productions, as early on you can create illustrations that give valuable information about the look and feel you want to achieve. And now speaking about production, I want to introduce you guys to another amazing tool created by the Oculus Medium team called, wait for it, Medium. Now, I'm not part of the team. Story Studio is a separate team from Medium, but I'm just a fanboy who loves to use their tool. Now, contrary to Quill, Medium is a VR sculpting tool. It's incredibly fast and intuitive, and it's great for translating your 2D designs into a 3D sculpt. It allows you to sculpt complex designs within a matter of hours, and like Quill, you're able to experience your designs while you're sculpting them. Your meshes can be also exported and edited in other 3D applications to optimize them for final models that can be actually used in production. And the sculpts can be also directly sent to a 3D printer, which is really cool. And maybe some of you guys seen it in the concourse area of the conference. We have this glass cabinet where you can see the results of Medium 3D prints. So go check them out, they're awesome. And now I want to show you a quick demo how fast you can sculpt in Medium. So let me step back into the Rift. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let me set this up a little quick. What's going on? There you go. All right. So I'm going to start with a mirror grid. And I'm going to start blocking in the basic shapes. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to sculpt. A lot of you guys probably know it already, but if you know my art. Yes, so let me see. This looks about right. So let me do this. That looks good. And then I'm going to use the sphere brush here. You guys can tell what this is going to be. It's not BB-8. It's not, I promise. Let me put this here. This feels good. And now I'm just going to leave the mirror grid on and start sculpting surface detail. And give him some eyes here. And so let me turn off the mirror grid. See how fast I can do this? This is so cool. I still can't get used to it. Used to the thought how fast you can model, because I actually do have a 3D background. I used to be a 3D animator, so I know what I'm talking about. But this is just, you can't compare this to anything that we've seen in the past. This is just mind-blowing how fast you can sculpt. So now I'm using like my custom stamps here that I created to make the demo a little bit faster. But Medium ships with tons of stamps that you can use, and I could get by with those, but I wanted a specific design here, so those are like my custom stamps, and basically you can create stamps out of anything. So I could make this a stamp as well, which is pretty cool. But I need some ground reference now, so I'm gonna use one of their pre-made 3D print stands, choose that and use that as a ground. All right, so let me turn off the mirror grid. I don't need this right now. Put it here, scale it up a little, and just put it in position can always move that. But also here, just like in Quill, I have to respect the 3D environment. So I'm gonna rotate around. I hope you guys don't get sick from this. I know it could be difficult to watch it on a big screen. And then I'm gonna keep doing details. So this foot, for example, I sculpted in advance and made a stamp out of it. And I'm just eyeballing it here. This looks good. The weight distribution looks good. Actually, I think this needs to be more like that. And then, let's see. Oops, I was on the wrong layer. Sorry for spending so much time on the foot, but this is important. Yeah, that looks better. All right, then I'm gonna go over to the arms. Just little arms. And he's going to hold something in his hands. What will it be? Nobody knows. So, I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be until the last moment. It should be a surprise. So I'm going to work on the hands now. We're only like a few minutes in, and look how far I got already, right? Just imagine sculpting this from scratch in any kind of 3D application that's out there. So he's holding something in his hands. That looks good. Let me see. That's all good. So I'm going to create a new layer and work on more detail. So I'm going to use a gray color, use this ring shape, and add some segmentations. So here, this is going to be all metal. That. Does this look good? No. See, this is a little bit difficult. This is something you have to get used to if you have like 3 axes. This was pretty spot on. Nicely done, Goro. And I can just add more detail. It's too big. Just like that. It's good. You know what? I can actually take advantage of the mirror grid because this is symmetrical. See? This is really cool. And then I can turn it off again. See how intuitive this is? I just love it. This is unbelievable. All right. Let me add some more resolution on this one. And then I will work on more details on the eyes. Just like this. This is looking, I messed it up here. Come on. Okay, I set the brush to single. That's easier. So that becomes just a stamp. Come on. That's good. That will do. Nice. Okay, and now I'm going to take care of the joints. I'm going to use a pre-made stamp here that ships with medium, and just start adding all those joints. Boom. Oh, I need the right angle. That looks good. And maybe I use one of my pre-made stamps, one of my custom ones, for other joints. Maybe I put 2 here. That might look cool. Yeah. Let me do that. And then I will also connect the fingers. Let me use something else for that. Maybe I can use this. Let's see, I never used this one. Just freestyling. Yeah, why not? Then this looks good. Now he needs some knees. Let me go again to this one, reuse that one for the knees. And I'm gonna get rid of this joint here. Just erase it and replace it. See how fast I can do this? So cool. All right, and then I want to add some more detail. Maybe I pick something like, let me see, what can I use? I think this one is good. I think I'm gonna just simply use the sphere to add some more detail. Just quickly adding some more color to it. All right, and now I'm missing connecting pieces. I just saw that the hip joint is still missing. I'm gonna take care of that. Maybe use this ball joint type of thing. Nice. All right, now watch this. I still find this is magical. Change the material to metal. Boom. Isn't that cool? I know. So let's put some more detail. Here, missed it. Maybe like that. Perfect. Then what else did I forget? I think I can move over to like connecting pieces because everything is floating right now. So this is another stamp that I created in advance. And I can just go ahead and see, I can even go inside here and really go crazy, even if you don't see the inside. So I'm only gonna indicate stuff here. And then connect everything one by one. This is cool. Connect this arm. It just needs to look functional. All right, connect this in there, even if we don't see it. And now, one of my favorite things to do is actually one of my least favorite things to do in traditional 3D applications is working on cables. Cables are really painful to do in other 3D applications. Well, here, let me change the resolution of this guy. Let me do this little quick, increase the resolution. And then, what's going on? I wanted to increase this resolution. No. Isn't it cute, those guys? All right. Okay, let me just remove this. And then I will start adding cables, which is super fun. You can just do it like this. This is super fast, and it's really fun. It's really cool. And this is something really like what takes forever because you have to like move curves around, extrude the curves, you know. And here you can just draw and paint them. And cables are a good way to like add a lot of cool detail. Like and then you can break up the silhouette, so it's really cool. See. I'm not going to be as accurate for now. This is going to do. And then he needs someone, like his belly is open. I want to close it. So let me close this. Let me see. I'm going to use this one. Change the color. Come on. And then, you know, I'm going to create a new layer. Put this in there. Close this off, and close this one as well. And I think like he needs something in his head as well. So let me punch a hole in there. Sorry, buddy. Boom. Nope. Boom. How about that? And then I'm gonna use again the metal. go to my ring brush, pick the color. I'm gonna add some more detail here. Yeah, this will do. And also close this off with the same brush that I used before. And boop, oops. There we go. This looks really cute. Now, what's really cool now is what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to create a new layer and work on his eyes. He has to see, right? So I'm going to fill it in with this color. And he will also have some LEDs in his chest. That's why I punched in the holes in there, right here. Maybe choose another blue color like that. And now check this out. I turn the material to emissive. Oh my God! That's what I thought the first time. It's cool, huh? All right. Now this is only half the fun. I'm not even done yet, right? So another favorite thing of mine is to spray paint your model. This is really cool. So now I can choose a color. I can pick this color here, and I'm gonna turn it more towards red, turn down the opacity, and I just start spray painting it. And add some color variation to it. There you go. Just subtle color changes that makes it look much more detailed, much more organic. And since he's like an old robot, he's not the newest one, he's also gonna have some stains. So I'm gonna give him some oil stains now. Turn to black, and just where the joints are, I'm gonna just add some wear and tear and some oil leaks over here, maybe inside. So this is so much fun. And I like to hold the controller like this. I don't know why. It just makes me feel cool. And you hear the sound actually, you know, like in your ears, and you really feel like you're spray painting it. It's mind-blowing. This is good. Some more dirt over here. Look at that, like how much detail is like in this character now. And now, you know, I just decided I'm gonna change the color of his arm. Maybe he broke down once, and he replaced his arm. So maybe his arm is red, one arm. I like this. Tells a story, you know. And I work for Story Studio, so yeah, that's what I have to do. So I'm also gonna add some scratches. So this is too aggressive. Let me tone down the colors, the opacity, and just add some scratches. This is cool. And where you find those edges, that's where you have the most wear and tear, right? So I'm gonna work on that. Back to this. Just some scratches here and there. He's been through a lot. Sorry, buddy. Let's see what it looks like. This is really cool. And more scratches over here. Just adding more detail. And here, there's more wear on the edges. And also on his arms, right? Like this is his replaced arm, but maybe he found it on a junkyard or something. So it's gonna be beat up. Same with his legs, scratches, and then I will add some edge wear and tear. There we go. Now he's starting to look complete. But what is a robot without physical scratches? You're like, what does he mean by that? Well, you'll see. Let me give him some physical wear and tear. Whoop, not like that. Carve some stuff out here. Go to the metal shader and put some metal layers underneath. Look at that. Ooh, this is really cool. All right, and then I'm gonna work on the base too, right? The base, maybe I move him forward a little bit. This looks good, and I have to spray paint the base as well. So let me grab a color. Gray is maybe good, opacity down, and I'm gonna just add some blemishes over here. Look at what it looks like. In like 5 seconds, I have like a detailed texture. It's absolutely incredible. So there we go. And then I also want to add like a glowing something. It should look tacky where the Oculus connects. So we need some tacky stuff. So let me use that ring that I used before and just put a blue ring on the surface. Let me punch that in there and then move it into place. Oops. That's good. And turn this into emissive. Nice. And now I'm going to add a little bit more detail. What do I use? Single. More lights. Maybe I should tint them a little bit so we have a little bit of different color. And just adding some more LEDs. All right. So, oh, I forgot. There's a light. Look at that. So I can light him from wherever I want. Let me choose an angle like this, maybe like this from this side. I'm gonna lock this. You can change the brightness and move it with the sculpt. So now the light will move with the sculpt. And I'm gonna give him something in his hands. Create a new layer. Choose a color. Drum rolls. What is it going to be? It's gonna be, ta-da! You guys are like, what? What is this? I don't know. So what it's going to be is some sort of projector. So let me grab this emissive layer here, increase the resolution, and then choose a blue color here. And it's gonna glow. Oops, I'm on single mode. I wanna be on continuous mode. So let me choose a brighter color. I want it to glow a lot. Let me increase the resolution here. And then, yeah, that looks better. So those are like little lightning bolts coming out. All right. That's cool. And then he's holding a screen, a glowing screen. So let me do that a little quick. Choose like a bigger brush here. And this is the glowing screen. Oh. All right. Oh, that looks kind of deformed. This is better. What does the screen say? Let me change the brush. It's gonna say, I need white. OC3. Welcome to OC3, guys. So now I'm gonna turn on the lathe, just look at the sculpt. That was about 15 minutes. Isn't that cool? This is really fascinating to me that this is possible these days. All right, I'm gonna go back to my slides. Bye-bye, robot. How does my hair look? Do I have the VR hair? I actually stopped styling my hair because of my job. And yeah, so for the past few months, I've been spending a lot of time in Medium. So I would get up early in the morning, and the first one in the office, and spend about an hour and a half sculpting. This is an animal robot series that I've been doing. And I don't spend more time in it than one hour or two. Now this is Pilot and his mechanic. And those type of sculpts usually would take me days, if not weeks, to do in traditional 3D sculpting tools. In Medium, I can make those within an hour, which is incredible to me. Now this was a little experiment I did. It was a very manual process. It's 8 different sculpts and 8 separate screenshots that I assembled manually into an animated GIF. It was painful, but fun to do. And both Quill and Medium don't have animation features yet. But this experiment was basically showing the potential, what the future can bring, if you think about VR storyboarding or even VR stop motion. So this is going to be very exciting. Now, at Story Studio, we're already using both tools in our production pipeline, Quill for VR sketching and painting, and Medium for VR sculpting. And I believe that Quill and Medium combined will become key design tools for VR productions. Now, I haven't been this excited since I first held the Game Boy in my hands, right? I was still like a little kid. My uncle bought me this Game Boy, and I was like, oh my God, what is this, right? This was amazing, like smooth animations, and it was just mind blown. And now I'm like in VR. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I never want to leave VR again, right? But remember, this is just the beginning, and I cannot wait what the future holds for us. Thank you.